Robbie, say the prayer.
Let's pray. Most kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you so much, Lord, for each and everything that you've done for all of us as we gather here today. God, I just pray that you'll be with each and every decision that's made, each and every commissioner, as they stand and represent the districts in which they represent. And God, I just pray that you be with this meeting and everything be conducted in a way that's pleasing to your Son, Jesus Christ. For it's in his name I pray. Amen.
Chairman, will you please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Here.
David Davis.
Here.
Daniel Deal.
Here.
Dewey Estimov.
Here.
Mark Evans. Jeremy Kinsey.
Here.
John Pippinger.
Here.
Samantha Trentham. Here. James Wood.
Here. Next is approval of minutes of previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by John Hoyt, a second, is that Samantha? Yep. By Samantha. Any discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. James Wood.
Yes.
8 yes.
Next is approval of reports of officers.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by John, second by Jeremy, any discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. James Wood.
Yes.
8 yes.
Next is approval notaries. We got two, Ginger Gail Cole from, Ducktown, Tennessee. Lindsay Brackett from Copper Hill, Tennessee.
Make a motion to approve the two notaries.
Second that.
Motion by James, second by Jeremy, any discussion on the notaries? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. And James Woody.
Yes.
8 yes.
Oh, next is budget amendments. We got a bunch. They're out of 3 different funds. We'll do number 2 first. Vote on it. 189 fund capital projects. Purpose of it, show appropriation for funds needed for equipment for new car purchases. Proposed source of funds comes from line 189, 34,675. It's a committed line for capital outlay projects in the amount of $5,251.20. Proposed expenditure funds will go into line 189, 54,110-718, which is Sheriff's Department motor vehicle purchases in the amount of $5,251. We can vote on that by itself.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by John, second by Daniel. Any discussion?
Just one thing, Sheriff, that is the designated restricted account that it's coming out of, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. It can't be used for anything else.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. James Woody.
Yes.
8 yes.
Next one, we'll also vote on this one by itself. This one, the road department. It's 131 fund. Purpose of amendment to add to prevent overages. Proposed source of fund is $4,000 from concrete, $3,000 from labor, $126,500 from the fund balance. The proposed expenditures of fund, that's a total of $133,500. The expenditures is contract with PRV, Roy?
Private,
Huh?
private agent.
Okay. Contracts with private agencies in the amount of 10,000, overtime, amount of 1,000, total in services, amount of 1,500, diesel fuel, amount of 20,000, office supplies, amount of 1,000, hot asphalt, and amount of 100,000. Total expenditures is 133,500.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion by John, second by Dewey. Any discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimate.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey. John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trenton. Yes. James City.
Yes.
8 yes.
And then the next one, and there's a bunch of them. They all come general fund, 101, we can go over all these and then vote one time. Let's see, number 25, purpose of amendments, appropriate funds spent for dues and memberships, proposed source of funds comes from line 101-52-500-719, which is office equipment, in amount of $68. Proposed expenditure of funds is line 101-52-500-320 for dues and memberships in amount of $68. That's from Jackie Rogers' office. Number 26 is show appropriation for overpayment on fees from probation office. Proposed source of fund 101-43-393, that's probation fees, an amount of $150. Proposed expenditure of funds is line 101-53-910-509, probation services refunds, in the amount of $150. Number 27, to show appropriations for flow-through funds from tech and top state grants due to the library. Proposed source of funds 101-46-980, which is other state grants in the amount of $1,517. Proposed source of funds is line 101-56-500-499 in the amount of $1,317. Line 101-56-500-196 library in-service training in the amount of $200. And the total is $1,517. Number 28, this general session court purposes amendment, show appropriations for February 2019 Winter Judges Conference reimbursement. Cost breakdown as follows. Conference registration $75, yearly dues $250, which are required to attend all conferences, which goes toward 15 hours of continuing legal education required for law license. $127.93, one night stay at conference hotel. Mileage pay $141.94 for 151 miles. Times 2 at 47 cents a mile. Total $5,094.87. 594.87. I'm sorry, I'm used to big numbers. No travel funds budget for 18-19 under general session. So, proposed source of funds is 101-39-000 in amount of 594.87. Proposed expenditure of funds line 101-53-300-355 general sessions court travel in the amount of 594.87. Number 29 is budget director. Show appropriations for fund needed for contracted services. Proposed source of funds from line 101-51-900-336. Other general administration, maintenance and repair in the amount of $7,000. Proposed expenditure funds is line 101-51-900 $399, other general administration contracted services in the amount of $7,000. Number 30 is also from the budget director. It's to show appropriation from salary line added for county attorney. Proposed source of funds is from line 101-51900-331, general administration legal fees, in the amount of $40,124.95. Proposed expenditure funds, line 101-51900-189, which is general administration / other salaries and wages, in the amount of $40,124.95. Number 31. This is Sheriff's Office. Show appropriation for work crew spending. Proposed source of funds, 101-44-570. That is a donation line, $6,190. Proposed expenditure of the fund is for tires in the amount of $1,240, and other supply and material, $4,950, for a total of $6,190. And he's got the invoice with it for tires. Number 32 is also from the sheriff. It's to show appropriation for travel overages. Proposed source of funds, 101-54-230-499. Other supplies and materials in the amount of $103.74. Proposed expenditure funds is to go with line 101-54-230-355, travel line, in the amount of $103.74. Number 33 is also from Steve Ross. Show appropriation for anticipated fuel overage. Proposed source of funds from line 39,000 unassigned, amount of $40,000. Proposed expenditure of funds is for fuel in the amount of $40,000. Steve, that's kind of a big one. It's legitimate. He can explain it better than I can. I know there's a few questions about it. And he had, actually last year, when we told everybody to cut their budget as much as possible, he cut his fuel line below the previous year. And then the fuel went up on top of that, plus we've added 10 cars since then. But he can explain it. If you want to go ahead and do it now.
That's it in a nutshell. But our budget, the line item for our gas has decreased ever since I've been here. And of course, we've added 10 deputies. And we went to, when the commission asked for the real number, we've done as good a job as we can of trying to hit the numbers on the mark. Sometimes you hit them, sometimes you don't. The gas prices, we didn't plan on going up the way they did this year. And plus, with using more gas, I know it's a lot of money, but it also shows me that my guys are out there doing their job. They're out there patrolling. They don't jack them up on blocks and let them sit there and run. They're out there patrolling and doing their jobs. So it is what it is. Nature of the beast. But we will, in our budget request this year, we will show this, so that way hopefully this doesn't happen again.
Sheriff, how many deputies did we add this last fiscal year?
We added 2 more SROs.
2 more SROs, not 10. We didn't add 10 last fiscal year.
No, sir.
Next budget amendment's number 35. I thought that was 36. I guess. All right, 34. You got one. Oh, I see. You got 2 more, 34 and 35. This is from East Polk Fire and Rescue. Proposed source of funds is from line $39,000 undesignated fund balance in the amount of $5,025. Proposed expenditure fund is for line 54410-338, East Polk Fire and Rescue in the amount of $5,025. And that's to get the fire truck fixed, didn't it, from last month? Yes, sir. And number 35, Melissa Keys in the court clerk's office. Purpose, show appropriations for computer purchase. Proposed source of funds, line 101-34-520. It's restricted for administration of justice and general sessions in the amount of $69,927.87. Proposed expenditure funds is for line 101-53-100-709. Data processing equipment in the amount of $5,600.
She's only wanting that 5,000 now, Greg.
I do what?
She's only wanting that 5,000.
Okay, I couldn't figure out why I was wanting to take out 69 and spend 56. Oh, okay. So,
It's actually that long, 5,557.
so the expenditure is just $5,600.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And that's all the budget.
I'll make a motion to approve these budget amendments. What's that? 30,
2 through 35.
25.
2
25.
35.
Well, hold on, I'm sorry, we done
25
2
through 35.
That was road department then. It was.
25 through 35.
Yep, started at 25.
I second the motion.
25 through 35.
Got a motion by James to approve budget amendments 25 through 35, and a second by Daniel. Any discussion?
There's one, I know before, on, whenever we bought equipment, you know, for, or any department bought equipment, they had to be a bid. Is that 5,000?
Yeah, anything over 5,000.
Okay.
Is that the fire truck?
No, it was, mowers, I guess, here for sure.
Well, I think,
5,000.
yeah, them was broken down. One of them was mower and one of them was tires in there. Joey Rogers said they both come out of that. Any more discussion?
On the additional, 40,000 on the, additional fuel, for the, cop cars and things, or whatever that was that was under budgeted, is that expected to be, allocated next year into the budget that is, that was already set for this year, that has been prior into the budget that you already have? Are you planning on making that work into the budget that you already have established?
What we're planning on, when we're doing our budget request for this year, we will add, I would say, just to make sure 50,000 to try to make sure that this doesn't have to be next year. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
This
because
will
I
get
mean,
us through the rest of the year, this budget year.
because, you know, I don't see any departments, you know, being able to get any raises, you know, next year. You know, I mean, I don't see it happening. You know, unless some miracle happens that I don't see. I mean, I don't, you know. I see everybody, you know, having to be cut, you know, having to tighten up on everything instead of spending more. I don't know. Unless somebody's got an answer that I don't see. Because that was one of the first things that everybody was, you know, when this year's election was, you know, nobody wants to see any more spending done. You know, everybody's gotta tighten it up. So, you know, just saying. I don't know how it's gonna all come into place, but we gotta figure it out. So, anyway. Go with that. I'm through.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
David Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. James Whitty.
Yes.
8 yes.
Next is Wi-Fi for the courthouse, Benton, and Community Center in Ducktown. That's Commissioner Pivoy.
Yes, sir, we have talked about this, we've met a few times on some different possibilities, and I'd like to, for right now, we'll take this off until we can present a actual cost, be voted on, and the actual equipment. I believe the last meeting we had, we met with both Comcast and on a grant that had been offered to the county executive's office dealing with and expanding, through that extension, dealing with an expanding version of what we're kind of looking at. And the cost, I believe the committee made the recommendation that the cost was just too high for that grant match and the ongoing expense that would be involved in the service. Am I correct on that? The ones that's on that committee,
Yes,
that was
yes.
pretty well the decision on that. I will bring this back up either next month or in the next couple of months when I have something solid to present as far as the cost for Wi-Fi here and above the mountains. And the county executive, I believe, is still talking to Comcast about which service we'll be checking on that equipment for, either the cable or, what was the other, that Comcast was offering here, they had cable and, you remember the other one was going to cost some more, but he was going to get with Robbie on it. Fiber optic, I think somebody said that. Fiber optic, he's not got back with me yet. So I'd like to put this off until we put it back on in several months. I'm done.
So when you want to put back,
We'll put it back on when we have something solid to present.
so we're not tabling it next month, you'll just put it back on. All right. Moving on, next is ambulance contract, county executive.
Mr. Jamie's with us today. I'm sorry, I apologize, I missed the ambulance meeting that night, had a prior obligation, but it's my understanding that through the meeting that everybody had on the ambulance committee, it just came up with an agreement as far as entering into a contract with AMR. And I've got the contract proposal that was sent last month, but we just changed the date on it this evening, as well as I have a copy from where AMR has said that they would like to present CPR classes for the teachers and staff at our schools, as well as advanced CPR classes for East Polk and West Polk Fire and Rescue Departments. So, and we would coordinate all these efforts through my office to make sure that everything's there. So, at this time, Jamie, if you had anything that you'd want to add to this, I mean, as far as what all, I don't want to speak on behalf of the committee that met. I know that there were some different things talked about. So, Mr. Nicholson, if you want to.
If I may take just a moment, one of the things we did discuss, and something that I put in place the very next day, was the question about level 0 and the time that we went, or that we sent a truck to the McMinn County line. We had been sending that truck when we were at level 1. We were asked to leave that, to change that decision-making to level 0. So we don't ask for a Polk County truck until McMinn County is completely out. And that would be a mutual aid response, not, it would only for emergency calls. And it is significantly reduced the amount of time to go on the line.
Was that changed in the contract? Was it changed in the contract to where it says that it's level 0?
And the contract doesn't address that particular
Okay.
issue.
Could we put it in write it in the contract?
I have no problem with that.
I also have another question. When is the lease up for where they're at right now?
In Ducktown,
Yeah.
the current lease, I think, is handled on a monthly basis. And we are we're looking for another location in that.
So that doctor's office where, at the hospital right there, the ER,
Yes, ma'am.
is that possible to put them there?
Yes, ma'am, I've been instructed to pursue that.
Okay, can we put that in the contract where we're gonna change, like where we're gonna move them? Is that possible?
We would write a separate contract for that.
Okay.
And we've done that in the Benton area and in Big Bend. So, yeah, there's a separate contract with a property manager that negotiates all that. But yes, we are willing to do that.
That's,
I may be hearing a different question here. Is what you're asking if we can put in the contract that they have to move there, or,
No, but
because they can they contract with who they rent from?
that depends on their lease and stuff, but they
That's
are.
what I'm asking.
They
That's what I
are
was-
pursuing renting from us.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't know if that was a question, or if the question was, can we put in the contract that they'll move up there? That's what I was asking.
and on that, that's something that Jamie and I, at the request of the Buildings and Grounds Committee, had kind of talked about, because that one area over at the hospital. And it would also work as a twofold by having that ambulance service there, as Jamie and I have talked about. That would be somebody on site 24/7. So, I mean, it would be a win-win to have, somebody there. And that is something, but, once again, that's something we'll have to pursue with working with the Sheriff's Department as far as using our trustees to get that cleaned out, and then to also be able to present where you can have staging rooms, a kitchen and things like that, because that building, those of y'all that went in there at night, they've done a number on it and just walked off and left it from years ago. But we are gonna look to try to do something with it.
If we done that, would that rent come off our contract, or would they pay it, and then, we pay y'all our contract, and y'all just write us a check back for rent?
Correct.
Out of y'all's account?
Yes, sir.
I bet for bookkeeping purposes, it'd have to be done that way.
That would be the easiest, so that way it shows a flow.
And all that would be be handled through the property management section.
Yeah. It'd just be a wash, it's just measuring house distributed, is all it is.
But that is something that we have talked and looked into. Like I said, it'll just be the cost as well as what's it gonna take to put that building back together and, put some areas for some rest, for some bedrooms basically, or some rest areas, a kitchen and things of that nature that they would need, so.
It can be meager. I mean, I'll go ahead and say that. There's little that we require. A crew area to gather in, a showering facility, and a place to cook something possible.
Thank you, Jamie.
Make a motion to approve the contract with the addition of the zero.
Level zero.
Level
Zero
zero.
level for mutual aid cost. I'll second the motion.
Got a motion by Dewey and a second by John Orr. Have any more discussion on that?
Figures on that?
Contract? They what?
What's the figures on that?
The same amount as last time.
Same as last year?
Yes.
Yeah, no
720?
increase.
There's no increase in the money amount. And I don't have that right on hand. It's
Was it 721, what was that amount?
723.
723.
Now, a couple of things that we talked about, I'm assuming this was put in the addition, was y'all were going to try to do as much work as possible in your ambulances here. We had somebody certified to do it, instead of them going out of, too far out of county like they appear to be. And now the 5th ambulance, the spare, is still in this contract, same
Yes,
as
sir.
it was, correct?
And the contract does require a new ambulance each year.
Right.
And I couldn't,
None of that changed.
none of that changed. I couldn't, by close of business today, get you a delivery date on that new ambulance, but one has been ordered. I just don't know when that delivery date's going to be.
We got a motion by Dewey and a second by John to renew contract for ambulance service at the same amount as the previous year, with a only difference, be the wording changed in the contract, but the level zero, and putting back up the line,
And one thing I'd like to
first
point out,
responder training.
One thing I'd like to point out on this, that level 0 is going to be in the contract, therefore if it's violated, it's a violation of contract.
I agree.
Any more discussion?
Mr. Brooks, I was going to say, I talked to Danny just now about it, that that's only include the sheriff's office personnel as well, be recertified. We have to do that for 2 years.
And the first responder training?
Now, that's CPR.
And like I said, we'll work that through our office as well, so that'll be some savings for each one of these departments, as Jamie and Steve are both nodding their heads, so we'll see some savings, cost savings, especially with our fire and rescue and all these that provide service.
And schools was mentioned.
Schools is mentioned as well, yes.
Yes, we do that at no cost.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimate.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. James Woody.
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay, I'm gonna, see what time it is. We got a long agenda again. 11:44. I'm gonna, the Tim Henry contract and the, hospital lease agreement. I'm gonna put them bottom of the agenda. They will be addressed tonight. I think we'll get everything done in time, but when we get to them, we'll know we do have, if we've got any extra time, which I think it's gonna take, we know we'll have extra time to use on it. So I put those two at the bottom of the agenda. That's the Tim Henry contract and the hospital lease agreement. Besides those two, the next one is the airport lease, the county executive.
Just need the commission full approval for Eric to go ahead and start the leasing agreement that will be rolled up between the county and the airport, so that way Alan Frosch and anybody else that comes on the committee, he don't have to walk around with a stack of papers, as we talked about before. That was the only thing. That's how come this carried over from last month. We weren't able to get it in right now. Eric's been working with this contract with the lease agreement. I know some of the commissioners had said, go ahead and do it and then just bring it up, but we'd like for y'all to give him permission to do that, and we'll bring that lease back next month.
You're asking for,
Approval from this committee to give Eric, or the commission to give Eric the authority to move forward to write a lease agreement with the airport.
yeah, I'll make a motion to that.
That's it.
Who'd say? Oh, I thought somebody said.
I'll see.
Motion by John, second by Daniel. Is any more discussion on having Eric do that?
That's airport.
Yeah, just to go over their lease. Any more? All right, roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimate.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. And James Woody.
Yes.
8 yes.
Next is road department request from the previous meeting. That actually has my name out front, but I think it's confusing. We just decided last month to table it this month, so that's Roy Jean's. Where's Roy Jean at? Oh. Huh? Yeah, come on up. Probably a lot of talking going on.
I'm gonna sit right.
Right ahead.
We took care of some of it last month, and then carried on over to this month. What all was Roy Jean?
I've got.
list of 7 things on here that we need, either your approval and vote. And then got 2 others, which I don't know if that's, is in the building committee, too, at the end. But the first one on the committees, that came from committee is the flat grant. And that has to, it involves Lad Springs and Sugarloaf for the match money for those grants.
And then on those, we agreed, we could break them down and just do one road, not the other,
If you choose.
on the grant.
If you choose to do this. You know, there's some benefits to having these grants. You know, it'd be, you know, for, I put in there as far as the economic benefits, you know, it would directly, you know, help with the visitors that come in. They'll be able to, you know, help our economy by being able to purchase from local businesses, being a better road system, you know, and it being as part of recreation, you know, going to the federal lands, and they're going to stay here and spend some money.
But that, yeah, Lad Springs.
Last
Federal.
Sugarloaf's the same way.
Well, Sugarloaf though, I mean, the road going to the federal lands, Sugarloaf Road cuts off of it, and the road, Cookson Creek Road going to the federal land, it's already in good shape. So I don't think Sugarloaf will be no whole lot of benefit.
There's school training, there's snorkeling, and all that goes on in the Sugarloaf boat ramp because of the area it is. You know, that's for the school kids. There's, you know, there's just different aquatic life that's only in Polk County. You know, that's unique to this area.
Well,
That's why this grant, you know, a lot of why this grant got approved.
Well, my issue, the reason we decided we could do half the grant, you know, Lad Springs Road, and then, but we didn't have to fund the whole grant to include Sugarloaf. And my problem with Sugarloaf is, you know, people on Lad Springs are generally, local people, you know, that's lived his entire life here. And Sugarloaf leads directly out to those cabins on parts of the lake. You know, they're the ones that beat the county out so much money. They're out-of-county residents and on those lakes, and, you know, lawsuit we lost with them. And I'd like to help Lad Springs, but it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'd like to do anything on Sugarloaf. After that cabin case and the way it went in court, and the thousands of dollars that they costed the county, cabin owner.
How much is the Lad Springs section, local match park?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm asking whoever's got the answer.
It's $225,629.
Is our match.
That's for Lad Springs.
Our match.
That's our match section?
Yeah,
And Sugarloaf's how much on the match?
$64,948. We were talking, or 2 of the road committee was talking, we were supposed to have a meeting at 6 o'clock, but we were discussing the possibility of funding this grant, and by funding this grant of $290,577 for these 2 roads, then that would free him up on this other
To go on to the next grant.
the tar and chip. The tar and chip, that would free us up from that. He will withdraw it and be able to do that much more.
But he could still do that if we only funded the Lad Springs part too, correct?
If you fund the grant, then we'll just take the, you know, funding of the tar and chip gravel roads off the table, and I'll take care of that in-house.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? How much money are you gonna get off that Bill has on diesel fuel tax that is released on July 1st?
That's, what is it, 1.2% more on diesel fuel.
So how much did Polk County get awarded?
I don't have that information with me.
I think it was 600,000 on top of your regular budget. Can we get the number for that? Because if that's gonna be on top of your budget, I mean, that'll give you some leeway to do some extra stuff.
So we need to take care of this one right now, right? The first one?
Yeah. But, you know, if you consider the fact that he can make his money go further, and someone brought up to mention that where the locations these two roads were, well, that'll give him a chance, he could go into East or up in Greasy Creek or wherever and be doing those roads up there, so it's gonna give him a broader spectrum of the county as well, and working on the roads. And a lot of our citizens have complained about us, the county general, not helping the road department, and it's be a good time to show that we are interested in the roads for Polk County and helping further the.
I'm very interested in helping. I just, I hate to take $60,000 and spend on that road that goes directly to those cabins, the lake cabins, that, you know, beat us in court and cost the county so many thousand. When that 60,000, you know, if we don't spend it on this grant, we don't lose it. We can spend 60,000 on a more worthwhile road. That's what I'm saying. If we're gonna spend the money, I say spend it on a road that, you know, different circumstances.
So you're saying give it to him on the tar and chip? Give him the 60,000 for the tar and chip?
He's gonna take that out of his budget, right?
If we fund both of these.
Okay.
If you voted, you know, the whole funding of all the grant, then I would, you know, we would just go ahead and pull the request off of the funding of the gravel roads and just use, you know, use out of our budget to make sure that those get done. And that would just take some managing over a period of several seasons, and we could do that.
Well, I mean, I'm the chairman, I can't make a motion, but I'd like to see a motion made to do the last spring's portion, and then we'll come back next month and discuss that 60,000 for the tar and chip money, is what I'd like to do.
When are these grants gotta be in?
This will take care of it right
I've
here
got,
tonight.
well, they're not fast, but but I've had it on hold for several years, and I just talked to Charles King, which he's, you know, working on this grant. And as soon as I start getting the funding going, see, there's no really monetary commitment made on these grants to get it, really to ramp up before they get into doing a bid and getting the contractors lined up. But all the paperwork is pretty well done.
And as far as him needing to do something up or down on this grant so he can move on to another one, us just funding a portion of it is adequate for him to be able to move on to the next one. This will close this one out. Even if we just do the last spring's part, it'll still be considered done and voted yes on by the commission, so he can proceed to the next grant and not be held up
So the county is gonna pay $225,000.
toward that grant, but we're not paying, I mean, we might, depends on how the vote goes. But I'm saying, I don't think we need to pay the 60,000 for the Sugarloaf
How much
Road.
is in our fund balance though,
Well,
to
you
be
got-
able to afford $225,000?
You got a report there in the packet.
You want to do this much on order? It's up and down.
After everything, you gotta remember, you're looking at three different fund balances. You're looking at recurring, non-recurring, undesignated, and undesignated restricted. So. to
The
look at your
undesignated, unrestricted.
Undesignated, unrestricted, I'm gonna guess somewhere around 1.1.
And this take it down to 875,000. Roughly.
It may be 1.3. It's somewhere low.
If it's 1.3, it keeps above $1 million.
Somewhere between 1.1 and 1.3. I didn't look at it before I come. I hadn't looked at it in about 2 weeks, but it should have been on your last reports if you're reading the undesignated, unrestricted number. Now, your fund balance should be about 1.819.
And then
But
it's,
some of that's restricted designated money.
and then our other money from this budget year will start falling in it after
You know what this is?
June the 30th. You know, all the money left over from this year, when what don't get spent is budgeted, it goes into the fund balance. So it'll be falling in there by June the 30th, so that'll add back to the fund balance. So it'll be back to, so.
Depends on if you look at the last month's report. taxes were due February 20.
Well,
So this
What kind of
report would
check
show,
was, Sugar Loaf in?
this March report would show February.
Actually, real,
You know,
it's real narrow, it's a class 4 road, it's real narrow. The grant's gonna widen it up, gonna make it over, I think it's 24 foot wide, I believe, that's what the grant said it would be. We're gonna take the slopes back. It's gonna be paved, of course, all the striping is gonna have, there's gonna be some construction involved in widening the road up there, because it's just probably about 15-foot road, it's gonna go up to 24 feet wide.
I'm here to help the road department as much as I can. It's just my opinion. There is other roads in this county that I deem higher priority than Sugarloaf Road. And I'm not against spending that other $60,000 on something, but I can't vote spending on Sugarloaf Road.
I mean, I've got
That's just,
I've got $1.8 million, as far as the tar and chip roads go. And there's 16 million of paved roads that need to be fixed. So we got there, and I've had $2 million worth of requests over the past 3 years.
oh my, that 60,000 on
They all
Sugarloaf, I'll get on board with you if it's another road. And I just think that compared to a lot of other roads I got in mind, Sugarloaf's low priority to me. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's not giving you the money. We'll find other roads and we'll look at the money. But I just can't vote to put it in Sugarloaf with the shape some of the other roads are in and the situation of Sugarloaf Road and the cabins and.
Well, they was asking me what I was doing with the money that I was getting an increase. We just had $1 million bridge that was completed here, just last year in Farner. And there's another bridge going to be for Chestatee. The floating bridge, that's coming up. And that's
The money is not a problem, 60,000. My problem is putting 60,000 on the road that, people from Bradley County come up here and use once a week to go out to their summer homes. And we've got other roads that people use every day to get back and forth work on, and I feel like that money could be better served spending on that road. It's not, I don't want to get you 60,000, it's just not that particular road.
There's a lot of people that live on the.
How much are you asking for the other road, is it Ladd Springs? How much is it you're asking for our part?
Ladd
225.
Springs is $225,000.
225,000. Are y'all comfortable that we have that much in our undesignated, unrestricted to be able to cover it? Looks like our tax season just ended. Taxes are collected, I think it's February, 26, 28 was the deadline on them. So this is March. This report should reflect, I'm assuming, closing of February. So your taxes are showing. We talked about it all night, but it doesn't sound like that one road's gonna pass. Just guessing, so. Thinking about time, do we wanna go ahead and make a motion on this or just go along? Talked about it all night long.
Well, they do something so we can dispose of this grant.
All right, let's do something. You wanna motion, Brooks?
Yeah.
It was Ladd Springs that we were talking about, and that's the 200 and, how much, 225?
Yep, 225. Well, if we were to fund the 225, then, and if you wanted to do the Sugar Loaf on your end, then you've got to have money somewhere in your budget to do things too. So, if you wanted to come back and do it, that's your choice of priority. Like Greg's saying, just like right now, we've got, me and John Hoyt's we've got a picture of, Butner Road over there right now that people are raising Cain about, a big caved off place. They sent a picture of a fence post with a reflector vest. And then I've got a postcard of, somebody sent me of
Be more specific.
over there around the Amish, complaining. I mean, there's just so much, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it's just, all of this rain, and then, of course, I don't even speak about all the stuff above the mountains I'm sure you're dealing with. I mean, it's just, it's never ending. But like he said, it's
Prioritize.
yeah, I mean, it's just trying to figure where we have to prioritize. And you just about have to pick, Linsdale, you gotta do something. Benton Station, you have to do something. Foreigner, you have to do something. Ducktown, you gotta do something. You just gotta pick one road somewhere to keep everybody happy and to keep it fair and just. And then you've got two roads in the same area that's gonna get all these hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it don't really seem fair.
And then, speaking of fire, he's also got projects lined up with his money for above the mountains. When the weather breaks, some roads. It'll be probably 50-50, I mean, as far as roads that get fixed,
Yeah.
as far as mileage.
Right.
Yeah.
We got some stuff, and just like you said, the management part of it is, it's something you really have to work through.
Yeah.
And, just like here just the other day, we've got Thomas Road, it's had some extra traffic during all this rain.
Yeah.
And it's got to have work now. That is something that just popped up in the past 2 months.
But basically, that 67,000 we're not wanting to spend, I don't think nobody in this commission is opposed to spending on road improvement.
No,
It's
but
just
I'm
we're
highly
opposed
interested in
to.
going on. I make a motion to do
spending on
Ladd
that
Springs
road.
Road for a matching portion of $225,629.
All right, second it.
Got a motion by John, second by Debbie. We done our discussion. Everybody, mind's clear. Roll call.
Craig Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimont.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. No. James Woody.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 no.
Passes.
Then, one more thing, Sugarloaf Road, I know you'll get tired of hearing about it, but those cabin owners beat this county out of several $100,000, and they could all pitch in the money and have that road paved themselves and still come out better than they would if they'd paid us what they owed us. So, I got no sympathy for that road.
How much is number two?
Huh?
How much is number two?
Number two what?
The second thing here, tire and chip.
Orange chip, no. No,
You want to talk about it, Roy?
We're requesting for money so that we can eliminate the gravel road cost of maintenance. And there's 82 miles left of gravel roads in the county. We're asking for assistance, and the way I feel you've already assisted the son with funds and grants, but just to eliminate these gravel road costs in the very end, we could save at least, if I had to figure here, $260,000 a year savings just by not having the perpetual maintenance of gravel roads and just being asphalt.
How much you asking for?
Well, the total I have is $1.8 million, but I know that's not.
How much you actually asking for? How much you asking for tonight? How much you trying to get right now? It's on the thing, so what are we talking?
The amount for 15 miles, which would be 300 and...
370?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, how much money, I mean, are you, like Samantha was asking there a while ago, or Gene, I mean, do you feel like that, I mean, you're gonna be coming up with, any substantial amount from this blind new tax, that I don't like to hear the word new tax, but, do you think you're gonna be gaining you know, any substantial amount from that.
I mean, we've been getting, you know, gas tax. money.
Yeah, that,
You know, all
are we
along.
supposed, are you supposed to be getting more come July the 1st, or
I think it's 1% is coming up as
what?
far as the.
Do you have any idea what that potential will add up to?
No, I mean, I told her I'd have to
Yeah.
get that information, exactly what that total
That
is.
would, you know, yeah, that'd be good to kind of give us a figure, you know, on that, you know, so we kind of have an idea of,
On my motion.
because like I said a while ago, when I was talking to Steve, I mean, we're, you know, everybody is money conscientious right now, and
Well-
nobody wants to hear about spending money.
Oh, I understand
We're-
exactly.
we're
Mr.
all
Chairman,
under scrutiny.
I would like to
They
request
know we're
to
meeting
put it
eight.
into a motion to either put this off the budget time before we can look at it under the new fund balance amount, since we just popped 225,000, or make a motion that we take this up next year during the fiscal year.
We can do it at budget time,
one.
and by budget time, which is coming up immediately,
We'll know
we
what
know
the
your
rollover
amount
from
within
fund
from
balance
the new
is.
tax. And we can take this up at budget time.
The
And,
new tax that we're getting in July.
yeah, they increase, we have a general idea of the increase within.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
I'll have to get from the office.
So I got a motion by John Holt to put this off to budget time and revisit.
Well, if you want to go by the motion, it'd be to take it up during the next fiscal year and treat it as a requested item, just like we did this one tonight.
So that won't discuss it, we'll start the budget meeting.
Well, we'll have to look at it during the budget meeting and see during the budget how much money we're gonna have to fund these requested things that's coming from every department.
I got a motion to John Holt to continue this to
Next fiscal
July,
year.
next fiscal year, we'll start July 1st.
Second it.
Second by Debbie. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham.
Yes.
James Woody.
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay, next is, one of mine I have on here, it's,
No, we still in the road department. Still on the road department. We got 9 items in the road department.
that was on two we was gonna do it now. We said last month.
So these are all not for tonight.
These are all for tonight.
I thought that was only two we was gonna do. The 1.8 million and
These are other.
Grant.
You had some in the road committee that
go
y'all
ahead.
want needs yes or no vote.
Remove Forest Service roads.
Full commission approval on this one page here, Greg.
All right, go ahead. Which one's your next one?
No, this one here's the removal of Forest Service roads. And there's, y'all wanted to know the total of what, Forest Service roads that are not serviceable by, you know, actual residents living on. And, come up with it pretty good. The only one that got in there that probably has houses all the way back to the end would be Lost Creek Road. And I think Lost Creek, this lady lives at the very tip end of what the county takes care of now. It's about 1 mile. That one probably doesn't need to be on there, but it's about 27 miles, so you take a mile off, that's 26 miles, 26.62 miles.
And there's Baker's Creek on that list that you've got. You talking about Forest Service
No,
roads, right?
Baker's Creek's not listed.
It's not listed, so you're saying leave it on or take it, what are you saying on that?
There's a section of Cookson Creek at the end of the pavement that goes to what they call the Turkey Foot, where all the roads to Sinai Branch and Baker's Creek splits off.
Right.
And it's a 1.1 mile section. And the Forest Service agreement, this is on the road list, but the Forest Service agreement said that at the end of the pavement, that's where we actually stop and they begin.
Okay.
So why it's on there, I don't know.
On Fireview Road. What about Fireview Church?
We go to the church, and then there's a, like I say, according to the Forest Service agreement, there's a 3.1 mile section that's
the
on there
church.
that we don't, that's their, we don't have to take care
So
of.
it's
it.
keep
But
the
it goes
county
to the
road
park.
up to the church.
Yes,
Okay.
and it goes just a little bit past that, but there's a 3.11 mile section that goes to,
Commissioner,
like Forest Service lets them into the park,
take one.
cemetery.
Forest Service roads
I
off.
think it's actually
Take
on
them all.
Forest Service, they only
It's
let
on
them in
the
so long.
list in here, I didn't see
Yes.
it.
Number 3.
Okay, so all of these sections of the roads to consider removing from the county-maintained road list. Okay, so these are all Forest Service roads, or these are county roads? What is this right here?
This is the list of the roads we were talking about that has Forest Service either on both sides or it's an access to a Forest Service section. That doesn't have roads that actually, you know, county land has borders and then Forest Service is around it. These are roads that continue.
Basically, it's Forest Service roads that the county's been having to maintain. That's gonna keep us,
This is it.
any liability on it anymore.
This is it.
100% Spring Creek, that section there needs to come off.
Spring Creek?
There's Spring Creek, there's a middle section, we just take care of the part down to the bridge, and then the other part where the campground ends at the pavement, the rest of it, that's what came off at 5.34 miles. That was in there because of the bridge was out at Webb's a long time ago.
So Lost Creek Road and Spring Creek, so the only two that,
You want to move this on to the committee meeting later? I suggest you move it on to the meeting later, just to use, you know, now that you have this list, let the commission look at it. Let them, you know, take it and investigate yourself.
It's up to you, I mean, being it's all, at least all these Forest Service roads, I mean, we can go ahead and dispose of them, that, probably unless somebody else wants to look at them. I mean, they're all Forest Service roads. I mean, I got a
Well,
pretty
a
good
couple of them
idea.
are Forest Service roads, but I mean, there's quite a few houses on some of it too.
Yeah.
But it don't start with the last house.
What about that
No,
McFarland
there's
Road?
a house
That's
after-
what they make mine
after-
sound.
There was a
There's a
house.
house after the pavement ends, because there's a guardrail in the curb, and then there's another house, isn't there?
No.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do,
Which road's that?
if there's a house, we wouldn't want to take it off the road list.
But isn't there like?
This sounds like a good job, road.
Yeah, there is a house.
There's pavement, there's blacktop stops there, and then there's just gravel and slush.
There's a house up there.
I could have done the same.
We don't maintain was it Green Settlement? Green Settlement is private land, but it's Forest Service all around here, so we don't maintain it.
Yeah, there's-
Let's check on that, they're talking
There's
about.
several houses on McFarland Road.
Well, we just do.
There's
Recommend that to
four
the
right there.
Road committees.
Put it to a road committee,
Yeah,
Gary.
this be a foot off the road meeting, we'll, if sometime before next voting meeting in April. Right.
It seems like there's confusion on houses and what they are.
Yeah, let them check into that and make sure, so we don't want to cut nobody off, you know, take the road off the road list. They got a house on that pass before we cut it off. But I mean, I'm for taking every inch we can take off Forest Service road list, but let's make sure like those people they're talking about, don't inadvertently get cut out.
The Farland Road, this is the one that's off of Farland Road, it goes back there. There's houses up through there, and then it stops at the blacktop, and the rest of it's just laurel.
Well, we'll put this road committee, and I'll call everybody before the April meeting, like maybe next week, see when we all meet. We'll do this for the April meeting.
And then it was the part about the county, the roads that the county, that is on the county road list, where did that little paper go to that had, or that, yeah. We'll move it on to the to the road committee.
The private
again.
roads?
Yes.
Yeah, the private roads, and get all that straightened out, because we've still got to figure out on some of them. Okay.
Last week, or last month. I'm familiar with that. I know it's fast, but that you know, go ahead and put this, this resolution on next month?
No.
With that
Weight
weight limit?
Whatever you want to do.
Weight limit, yeah, we'll do that too, to me to make.
One thing I do need, if you want to move on with these, we're going into next month at the meeting. The one thing I do need y'all to absolutely vote on tonight, and so we can move on, is the lease agreements, and that's where,
Number 7?
yes, because, you know, that's part of the tar and chip, and then deferring the cost and that kind of thing, so that we can move on and get rid of the tar and chip road. That's mainly what my goal is here.
You don't read the lease agreement?
Yes, the lease agreement. You need it read?
Yeah.
Lord mercy.
Well, you supposed to give us all a copy of it. And lease agreement's pretty long.
This is what I need signed, and this, I can read this. This is what I have to have signed. This is, you know, so it'll follow, the state law. What it is all the payment stuff at the end of the lease, it will be owned by the county. You know, the tractor, dump truck, that's the two things.
And this is coming out of your budget.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. And there will be a quarterly payment or a bi-yearly payment, depending, you know, I think the tractors is more of bi-yearly, and the trucks, I put those on a quarterly payment. And we got solicited the bids, and then I've come up with two providers for those, and the tractors would be Dooley Tractor, and come up with a price for that. But this is what I have to have for your vote and approval.
What process have you used to get the bids? Did you take out actual bids, or
No,
did
we
you just
solicited.
solicit?
Yeah, because I mean, this
Cost?
is, they follow, yeah. I don't have to, you know, exactly advertise it. I could solicit for the bids for these leases.
Okay, and you did do that? You
Yes.
got all the
We've
paperwork
got
and everything
three.
documented?
Yeah, all we had to do is have 3.
Okay.
We come up with 3, and actually come up with 5 on the trucks, and come up with 3 different bidders on the tractor.
And you went with the least or best bid, right? On those,
Yes,
is what
the
you
least
wanted
the
to do?
best. And Dooley was actually the least expensive, but it's a Kubota. They're actually, you know, a good price on the mower.
And the payments are coming from your accounts?
Yes.
And the only issue the county has is if, for some reason, you didn't run again, or whatever term changed during the contract time, the county has to stand liable for the remainder in case the new whoever come in.
Well, yes, whoever.
Doesn't, that's the only reason the county's even involved.
Yes, the term limit is what is the reason for the bid for the lease. But this is in a very good interest for the county to have the equipment, have the payment. We can buy, you know, the bid price at the state rate, which is so much better. I mean, there's some of the stuff's like a 40% discount on the price of it. Some of it's even the cost.
I make a motion to approve the purchase agreement, lease agreement to allow the road department to enter into it.
Second motion.
Motion John, second James, any more discussion?
How much are they? And is there a way to like cut it down to where it's just in your term limit, so just in case, you know?
That's what we do, and we'll do that. But,
'Cause I mean,
there's $241,000 is a total for 4 tractors, and the dump trucks.
This is the same information you provided us before on the pricing. The pricing hadn't changed, correct? From what
Yeah,
I
this is
got.
a quoted price for,
Right, that's
you know,
close.
April, and to get these, right now, to get the tractors, you know, it needs to be this month, because I have to get the order in, because I've got dealers on trucks that said that they couldn't get trucks till, I think it was 40 weeks.
And it is 5-year lease that you're looking at?
Yes.
And the reason you done that was to put the money out to where it was just so much per payment. In other words, where it didn't
Well, I'll tell you what,
put you in the hole right from the get-go.
it won't put us in the hole from the get-go. If this is what's acceptable, then yes, we will make the term limit. And if I don't make the term in 2 years, I'll pay them off. That's how I do it.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham.
Pass.
James Whitty.
Yes.
7 yes, one pass.
I want to make this time, President Chairman.
One more, what else you need tonight, that's time sensitive?
You want to finish it up with the building committee, the approval for the removal of property that never has been voted on. And we've already downed some trees and started cleaning up.
Is that what you got on there at the bottom, Robert, building council meeting, or something different?
Which one we on now?
That's the very last page, John.
Approve him to move.
We just need an official permission to
New
move?
side of Campbell Road, A and B. One was with the fence, and the other was the vote for the approval for road department to move to Campbell Road side as a mixing ground.
I make a motion to approve his move to Campbell Road.
Second.
Motion.
Got a motion by Dewey, second by James, any more discussion?
Now, wait, is this, yeah, then you're authorizing him to move the road department office building? Is that what
No,
you're?
that stuff's out there.
No, we
Okay.
just need the approval for the site, John.
Okay, you're just needing the approval for the site on the barrier, the barrier fence and the,
Yes, just the approval for us to use the property.
okay, all right. That's all, the only thing I had.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham.
Yes.
James Whitty.
Yes.
8 yes.
Now,
You need that fence? Are you buying that fence?
We're gonna talk about it budget time.
Okay.
It's okay, budget.
Well, that's what we decided the other night, when you requested it, we was gonna wait till budget time. Look at it. So,
I don't remember that.
wasn't that what we done, John?
On the barrier fence, is the barrier fence, was it not required for some reason? You had to have
It
it?
is, it's.
I mean,
having
it
the
wasn't
fence
an
around-
option, was it?
Do what?
It wasn't an optional thing.
No, I'll have to put a fence around. And
Right
it-
there.
we, there's not a fence out there where that the ball field is actually just a dirt ledge and everything that you have to have, as far as stored rock, pipe, you know, those items that are in the road department has to be fenced in according to internal control. I have to have it fenced in. When we do a rock ticket, when somebody, hauls, pretty, unless it's just a stockpile of items, they make a note on where it's going to, and we keep track of it. So it's the same thing, when it goes to this site here, I'll have to track it and put it on there that that's where that load went to. And it has to be locked up behind a fence.
But you've got a lot of work to do before you get that fence, right?
Got some, I've got a surveyor, I think he might have been out there today. Survey.
How much is the fence? What's your anticipated amount of the fence?
20, wasn't it?
22.
How much?
Around 20 is what we said. You said 22, so it's probably
No,
about.
you said not to exceed 22,000.
22.
Made the estimate. Does not put that on this paper here. Amount not to exceed 22,000 barrier fence, 1,200 feet around the perimeter, to begin laying asphalt inside. And that was, see, I think we've got it advertised right now. It's supposed to be going in the in the local papers, from what I understand. We're in the works to get the bids. We've got some verbal estimates, but to get the official bids for it, that's being done.
Any more discussion?
That's all you gotta have tonight, 'cause we're gonna have enough time.
You've not got the RFP in yet,
I
right?
was trying to find out there, do you need to go ahead and get
Yeah,
that?
talk, I know we said.
Is that gonna be your money, at 22,000?
We requested in the committee, and the committee, voted to do it. And that we were gonna get bids on it, and for it to not exceed 22,000.
So it really is a one-time gift, is the way we're gonna do it, because it's gonna come from us.
Something that wasn't, it was something that
Right,
wasn't.
the RFPs are not in.
Our fault.
And we were gonna pay for it out of our side. But
We're
go
having,
around
it
the
wasn't something that was
recurring.
planned, or,
Right, I understand.
and that was the reason why we requested for the fence, because we'll have to have a fence there, unless, we can't just mound up stuff to keep people out where it's at.
Right now, we can't do anything till RFP comes in.
So we'll have to get a bid on it, and we'll decide whether to award the bid or not.
And they are out, the RFPs are out, correct?
Pending the bid, we want to move this.
We'll revisit it when the bid's coming.
Okay, he's done them on his end, instead of us doing it. Okay. Gene, if you don't care, send me a copy of those RFPs as soon, if y'all have them, send me a copy of them.
Okay.
Because there's confusion on where the copies are. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, next is, resolution 3-1. This is my, resolution. I have lots of input for the community on it, and, there's lots of support across the state from, governor and state legislatures, private citizens. A lot of people are concerned about it. It's, basically, TWRA, AKA rabbit sheriffs, are attempting to reach their arm out a little bit longer, and we feel that, they've already overextended themselves, and it's just another effort by them to increase their authority, and I feel like it's just step one of implementing a new fee. This what they're doing the first round says there's no charge, but that's just preemptive, because that's TWRA's goal, to charge more money, more money, more money. And it also addresses the issue, and it's a huge issue, with the way they appoint their 11 wildlife commissioners from each district of the state. I don't remember. Me and John Qualls and John Hoyts had the privilege of meeting them, and they make every rule in the state of Tennessee concerning hunting and fishing, and we met them all personally. And there was one out of the bunch that ever been hunting or fishing in their life, and it was on some kind of African safari. I've never seen, but it also addresses the problem with the wildlife commissioners. And several other counties have adopted this. What they're wanting to do, Governor Lee has used one of his executive orders to postpone this, and this just seeking support from county governments, saying that we're also in support of it.
You gonna read it?
Finish right. I'm letting him finish right. All right. Resolution 3-1. Resolution, the county governing body of Polk County, Tennessee, proposing Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency's commercial paddlecraft rental services regulation of 2019. Whereas the governing body of Polk County, Tennessee sees a need to officially express its concern over the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency expanding reach on regulations on state ways, state waterways. And whereas the legislative body of Polk County has issue with the TWRA board's inefficiency in area conflict resolution over other hunting and fishing regulations and their expenditure of funds generated from licenses and other revenue streams. Whereas the thought the TWRA having any more regulation powers deemed unneeded at this time. Now therefore be it resolved by the Polk County Commission meeting in regular session at the Polk County Courthouse in Benton, Tennessee, this 21st day of March 2019, that number one, any increase in further regulations from TWRA that is not absolutely necessary should be stopped. Number two, that the commercial paddlecraft rental services regulations of 2019 is not necessary or wanted in this county by the majority of the county legislative body. And number three, that the county legislative body preys on the state to review the makeup and appointment procedure of the TWRA board and set out new guidelines for such implementation that returns the power of selecting that board directly to the people of the great state of Tennessee. This resolution shall become effective on passage of public welfare requirements.
Motion to approve.
So,
Got a motion by John, second by Samantha. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Huey Espinoza.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham.
Yes.
And James Woody.
Yes.
8 yes.
This will be forwarded on to governor's office, our resolution. Next is the lodging tax. We're gonna table that for a month. We're still got the funding sources to sort out, the disbursement of the money. So we'll table that next month. Next after that is Waterways Commissioner Tran.
I just needed to give you guys this email that was forwarded to me. I gave you guys a copy. He just wanted me to present this to you guys and let you read over it and see what you thought. That's all we really needed. If
Something
you guys
you'll,
want to read over it and see if you,
act on it next month, something we might want to vote on.
may, I mean, you guys can read it and,
For your information. FYI. And then if you want to, you're gonna put it on the agenda next month.
can we just put it to like a committee meeting and decide if we
Yeah.
want to? Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so we got that for everybody to look over. Next is library cards, Lori Cox.
How's everybody doing? So it won't take long. National Library Week is coming up in April, and we'd like to invite the commissioners. We're having a reception at the library this year at the West Coast location on April 9th. So we're going to get back with that information. We'll also have some upcoming library events in it, information regarding the library. And we also gave all of you your own library card, and you can immediately start using it on Tennessee Reads, which is an online library. E-books, movies, and audiobooks on it. And we also have some movies.
We appreciate all of it.
It's sugar to give you that extra drive.
There's a bookmark in there too with the website. I don't know if you ever buy downloadable books or if you buy books on tape, but you don't have to pay for them if you just use your library card.
Here's another extra.
Oh, did you tell them about the, okay.
Thank you, guys.
Ready for the library?
Well, that's like I didn't see this.
We vote on our budget, that's sort of right. Yeah. Was that it from y'all? Next is, sanitation bids, county executive.
As y'all seen in your packet that was sent out, there was a dramatic increase in the sanitation bids that went out this year. Just a little tidbit on it, I guess you could say. For the west side of the county, the proposal from Santec was a $63,624 increase per year. It would take it from $379,200 to $442,824.36. The west side of the county increased 53%. The increase was $102,564 increase, taking it to $294,000 a year, where we're currently at $191,436. In those, or in everything that's here, with the contract that we have with the Santec and with Advanced Disposal, they were supposed to turn in proper tonnage, the number of loads, and they did not. I've got the copy of the bills that they sent back to me, and you flip through each month and everything's the same. They just changed the days. So the sanitation committee voted to reject the proposal, the RFPs that was sent in from both Advanced and Santec. Priority Waste turned in a bid as well of $708,000 just for the west side of the county. Priority's argument is it's a pig in a poke.
They had no data.
They had no data.
Because there was no tonnages turned in.
Correct, nothing was turned in. So the sanitation committee rejected all these bids and has asked that it go back out to bid. I would like to change the RFP when it goes back out to where it would be broke down in such a way to where we could see the actual tonnage and how much it's going to cost us per center for these companies to operate. They were also supposed to turn us in, according to the sanitation committee, they wanted to see tonnage, they wanted to see loads. I have not received those yet. Advanced Disposal, I've not heard from them at all. Santec did email me today and said that they would not extend an extra month outside of what they extended to the full commission.
Which means the end of May would be the end of it.
End of May. That's Santec. Santec says that they've been a customer for 16 years. Some of the possible sources or routes that I've been looking at is for the county to purchase, to look about doing their own compactors. And you may say, why? We can buy a compactor for $20,000, a box for $5,000. I know that to get into the garbage business, you're looking at about $200,000 in equipment cost. But what you also got to look at is what they're charging you to run your facilities. The employees that they have, they're paying them a lot less than what they're charging you, but they're not revealing how much they're charging you to run your facilities. Also, it was found that at Advanced Disposal on the east side of the county, they're charging you $750 to dump a box at the schools. You do not pay for the boxes on the west side schools. So I'm going to ask in that RFP turned out that the school look to take care of theirs, because I see a lot of head shaking. If we're going to do it for the east side schools, we need to do it for the west side schools. If we're not going to do it for the west side, we don't need to do it for the east side schools. That needs to go back to the schools to take care of theirs. But that's been in this contract that this county's been paying for at $750 a month extra, if you would, for the boxes at the schools. That's also something else that I've talked to about. You could possibly purchase another compactor for the schools and put it in the middle. A compactor would put 4 to 5 times as much weight as an open top or as a dumpster. But like I said, that's something that if you'd want done, that we could look at. And I know with the Benton dump site, I know the city of Benton and how they dump in, and I know different people that use that. There's nowhere near the loads going in those open tops that are going into the compactors. And so when they make these pulls, it don't matter if there's 2 ton or if there's 10 ton. They're charging you per load, per haul, but they have not released that information yet. So that's what we've been working on and working diligently to try to get. So when those RFP goes out again, because the committee rejected them, I just wanted everybody
The
to.
commission still has to reject it.
Yeah, the commission,
It's a
I mean.
recommendation to the commission.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, if y'all want to vote for a 53% increase, I just assume that nobody likes to spend no more money than they have to. But yes, you all would need to reject this and then to let me write these RFPs out differently than they've been written. So we know what the cost per site and what they're going to charge you per site to run each site in the county. And to also explore the possibilities of the county to look to get their own equipment. And I know on the front end, it may cost a couple, $200,000-300,000. But if you want to see some savings, if we run it ourselves, we could cut these costs way back and run our own facilities.
But you've still not got a price on disposal.
That's what we're waiting for.
Once again, we'll work on that. I got that the other day. If the RFPs I'd like to send out, I'd like to break them up in different ways. What would they charge us if we maintain our own facilities? How much would they charge us to haul?
Another thing, when everybody just heard the start, it cost $200,000 or $300,000. That don't necessarily mean we're going to have to borrow that or pull it from the fund balance. Everybody that's equipped does have a lease option, which could easily be paid every month out of the
Current operation.
current operation we're paying now. Those leases can be paid, and that's not money we're going to have. A lot of it's not money we're going to have to go out and borrow or hit the fund balance on. It can just be paid out of the monthly payment, for the lease, just the same as we've been paying the sanitation contract.
And you have been paying a lease. When you see a new compactor go in, everybody thinks, oh, they put us in a new you're paying for it.
Yeah.
You don't know it, but you're paying for it.
Or the lease.
But at the end of it, when it's done, and if it's sit there for 10 years, you don't own it. They just put you another one, and you just keep paying for another one. So it's something to really look at. So I would ask that you reject these, and let's start over.
I make a motion that we reject these bids and authorize the county executive to rebid.
I second it.
Motion by James, second by Dewey. Any more discussion?
And that, for him to rebid it, that's allowing him to rebid it out several different ways.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, like I said, I want to break it up. So, when those RFPs come out, that it'll be all different ways, and then it'll be a whole nother ball of wax for y'all.
James' motion is to reject these and let you rebid them and change RFPs every you see fit. Any more discussion?
I think it's pretty ridiculous if we start paying out $750,000 a year when we've got schools and roads falling apart.
Oh, they killed it. I've been on this commission pretty much ever since electricity did me. I've never seen such a jump in a contract in all my life. It's unheard of what they've done this time. So it's definitely worth rejecting.
Well, he assured us that he would give us that tonnage.
And
In that meeting,
They're in violation of contract if they don't.
He has to, it's in his contract.
It's in that contract, but I have not received it.
Let's see, check the time here.
Who made that motion? Woody?
Woody, yes.
Did he second?
Okay. Motion by James, second by Dewey. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Maggie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
Sean Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Franklin.
Yes.
James Speaker.
yes.
8 yes.
We're closing in on the 2-hour time limit once again. I'm gonna put, the flood and hazard plan on the bottom of the agenda in case we don't get to it. I watched the 7-day forecast and they didn't call for no rain, so we'll be all right putting it in there at the bottom. And we'll go on to, we'll dispose of this. Land donation, that's off the table. The offer's been, canceled, so that's done. Real quick, hospital maintenance payment, Robbie.
That would, on the hospital maintenance payment that you see before you, if you go into this, you actually need to look at the lease first. if you go into this lease agreement, however this commission goes into that, we need to have it set up so there can be a line and things be able to be paid from that in accordance to taking care of those facilities only. In other words, it would be designated and set aside for those, not just one of the offices, but any or all of them. I know the concern was some of the heat and air units and things of that nature that the committee talked about. I've already had a heat and air unit, or heat and air men to go up and look at it. $600, 6 to 8, I'm sorry, is what it's going to take to call, the cost it will take to fix the unit in Siddiqui's office as well as in Hewlett's office. So that's something that we got to look at, right, once we get into this, if y'all get into this leasing. Also to be able to afford to pay Mr. Trammell, who takes care and does a lot. He has also not been paid because where the line of where some of the money was at, it's dispersed. There's nothing there. But Dwayne's been working and he's been doing on good favor that he's going to get his payments. But I just need to know and need to have and be able to make that where we can take care of some of these things if you enter into this lease agreement on the buildings.
Now, you need that whether we enter into that or not, don't you?
I need something.
You need what do you need, a line set up?
For maintenance on those buildings.
General county maintenance.
On those, yes, for those buildings.
But the line would just be for under general county, right?
Yes.
So what line do you want set up?
No, I've not even looked at it as far as the number to be. Patrice, could you think of one?
Well, I just speak to the auditor, and he said it should be fine to just add it under our county building already, like where Jake's pays on.
So 101.
So we don't really need to add anything.
We just need to move that
We
money.
just need to do a budget amendment to move the money, and you'll present the budget amendment
518.
the next month. Is that right?
We can.
Okay, that takes care of that part, right? So you have a number, we just need a budget amendment. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna give the line number?
Don't have to, she's got one.
Well, which one are you gonna use?
One Jake gets paid out of, ma'am, currently.
I did not get to talk with Robbie this afternoon after I talked with the
The
auditor.
auditor.
So,
But the auditor gave us the number of the line it should be under, and we already have the line active, correct?
yes, there's
So we
already
just do a
an
budget
existing line
amendment into
there.
that
We just
line.
need to talk, get the funds to pay Mr. Trammell and whatever else is needed.
All right, next is,
Well, we put budget.
hospital lease agreement.
And we can come up with a budget amendment.
Well, no, she's bringing budget amendment next month. All we gotta do is make it.
Can you get a line number?
What are we gonna do? Maintenance cost, well, paying him now.
What's the expenditure?
Oh, these like that. No, these
Unless you're wanting to keep that stuff separate. It's okay with everything.
It's okay.
I can go check.
Can you pull that?
We need the number, we're fixing to do a budget amendment right here tonight.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're gonna do it now?
We'll worry about suspension, y'all finish up the other two things, the big ones.
He got plenty to buy.
36.
So she's gonna give?
Yeah. That'd be number 36, right? Budget amendment 10136.
She gonna write it right quick?
As soon as we'll get that, we'll have it up for you in a few minutes.
We go over at hospital lease, come back to this right quick?
Absolutely.
Eric, try to just explain.
Everybody get a copy of the hospital lease? Eric?
This is, I guess, a rough draft right now, but you can, it's fine, and I'll add the, the tenant name and their information in there. Based on what we talked about at the committee meeting, we do a one-year lease, be effective March 1st of this year until the end of February 2020. Some of the important terms are that the tenant would provide the landlord with a 90-day written notice before the expiration of the lease term, and indicating whether or not they'd want to try to renew the lease or enter into a new lease agreement, or whether they were planning on moving out. That way we'd have time to discuss a new lease when that came up. Also, I have in there that if the leased premises were to be transferred to someone else and the person or the entity that received the property, they didn't want to continue leasing to the tenants, that the lease could be terminated with a 120-day written notice to the tenant to vacate. The rent would be $24,000 a year or $2,000 a month. 75% of the rent would be paid to the county. 25% would be paid to Ducktown. Late payment, I did put, after April the 1st of 2019, if they don't pay by the 5th of the month, there'd be a late charge 10% on the amount that's not been paid. If they're 15 days past late due, then it'd be a 1.5% or 18%, 1.5% per month or 18% per year. Interest charged on the unpaid portion. If they write a bad check, there'd be $35 late charge, and then they'd have to pay with cash, cashier's check, or money order from then on. Security deposit would be 2 months' rent, so that'd be $4,000. The money could be used in any way that the landlord sees fit during the lease term. They could also, if the rent's not being paid or they're not, following their obligations and for monetary reasons, they can use that money to pay for those. If the tenant follows all the terms of the lease, they've paid everything, left the property in good condition, returned the keys, and they'd obviously get the deposit back. Based on what the committee wanted, as far as maintenance and repairs, the tenant would be responsible for maintaining and replacing, repairing their own equipment, the furniture in the leased premises, and in cosmetic things like painting, replacing, repairing any flooring, ceiling tiles in the leased premises. They'd also be responsible for their garbage removal and any pest control that's needed. They'll keep the property clean at all times. The landlord would take care of the structure and the roof, electrical, plumbing, central heat and air system, parking area, outside area around the leased premises, unless the reason for the repair, the maintenance, or replacement was caused by the tenant or their employees or guests. We'll specify what the tenant's business is and what their name is, and they'll be the only ones that are able to use the property. The tenant will be responsible for the personal property taxes and all their other taxes associated with their business. There is one of the entities is a corporation, so we'll have a personal guarantee from them for the rent payment, and make sure that all the obligations of the lease are carried out by the entity. The tenant can assign, sublet, or mortgage the lease premises or any part of it without written consent from the landlord. If they want to go in and make some renovations, update things, remodel it, they can, but they have to get written permission from the landlord before they do that. They have to keep the property free of all liens for labor and services and supplies. If the property was damaged where the tenant couldn't occupy it, we could give them a notice to vacate. The landlord would have the right to enter the leased premises at all reasonable times to examine and inspect, do any repairs, maintenance, alterations if necessary. The landlord won't be responsible for any theft, loss, damage to the tenant's property. The tenant will indemnify and hold harmless the landlord at all times for any injuries or damage to the property. They'll also maintain insurance policies for liability And bodily injury, property damage, $1 million, 500 per occurrence. Property damage coverage not less than 250,000. They'll have insurance to cover their personal property, and they'll give us a copy. The landlord will be named additional insured, lost payee. Utilities, they'll be responsible for all the utilities on the leased premises: electricity, water, sewer, trash removal, other services that they may have. Right now, as of the day of the lease, the water and sewer is in the name of the landlord because all of them are using the same meter. We're in the process of installing water line, water meter for each unit. Once that's done, or until that's done, they'll pay 25% of the monthly water and sewer bill. Upon completion, they'll put the bill in their name, and they'll be responsible for paying that. Then the notice section just talks about the ways that to notify each other. I'll put their specific information in there. Default would be if the rent is in arrears, if they fail to perform all the obligations under the lease, if they file bankruptcy, if they abandon and vacate the premises, or if they violate the same provision of the lease after 2 notices. So if they default, the landlord may retake possession of the leased premises, terminate the lease. They can retake and recover possession, not terminate the lease, re-rent it, charge them for the difference between the rents if it was less. They can retake and recover possession, let it stay vacant, and they'd still be responsible for the rent until the lease is over. They can retake, cover possession, accelerate and collect all the rent due, or any other action that's under law. That's attorney's fees. If the landlord has to do use an attorney, go to court, the tenant would be responsible for all reasonable costs for that. Tennessee law applies. If the landlord doesn't have strict compliance on the lease, that's not a waiver, and they can always ask for strict compliance at any time. This next one, subordination, would be probably more for if it's assigned to somebody else, but the lease agreement would be subordinate or to any deed of trust or mortgage security agreement. Transferability by landlord, so the landlord can assign this lease agreement to someone else if they want to. Amendment, can't amend or alter or change the lease without written consent from both the landlord and tenant. Condemnation, if there was some sort of eminent domain that happened and the property, part of the property was taken, the landlord would be entitled to all that money. The tenant can ask for damages for themselves, but that's a separate thing. Surrender of the leased premises, the tenant agrees to vacate, surrender the premises, and leave it in the same or better condition after the term lease is terminated or expires. Holding over, if they continue after the expiration or termination of the lease, there'll be a tenant at sufferance, and they'd have to start paying rent in 125% of the current rent amount. They're not supposed to put any, erect any signs or displays on the building without written consent from the landlord. Then just be landlord tenant would be the also extend to the successors and interests of the landlord and the tenant. Be fully negotiated and reviewed by both parties, be the work product of both parties, not construed against either party. There's no relationship other than landlord and tenant. Landlord's not a partner or owner of the tenant. So that's the overview of that lease.
I make a motion to approve the lease.
I'll second.
This is, even if it passes here tonight, this is contingent upon Ducktown pass.
And the
Them accepted.
correct.
And they have indicated that they most likely will.
Ducktown or the?
Ducktown. Ducktown Commissioner, councilmen were at the last meeting.
No, it's 2,000.
Oh, this is 2,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the 2,000.
Did the
with us
doctors,
doing all maintenance.
all of it, did they get a copy of that agreement?
Well, first, we wanted to make sure this is what you wanted to send them first.
Okay.
So that's what you vote on, is just, this is the terms that you want to send to them.
Okay, I'm gonna resend my second on this. Just because I was doing this and I didn't catch exactly the terminology. I knew we talked about 14, 2,000. I didn't know which one you had read. So I'm gonna withdraw my second on it.
Yeah, I know you's outnumber me. I'm only one vote, but.
Yeah, this is a little different number.
If, I guarantee you, if you go 2,000, you're not gonna have one out of them three that'll be there. I guarantee that.
Well, the only trade-off we done last night, and I didn't know how much it would be, and I thought it was a long shot, but we did change it to where we done 100% of the maintenance instead of, them do outside, us do the inside, and that was the only trade-off we done on the amount went up. So,
Yeah, they pretty much assured us that they was ready to go.
Well, the thing about being a landlord, you don't go and ask the person how much they want to give. You make out your lease, and if they want to rent it, then they go by your terms. I rented a building in Cleveland. I rented it for a year. I had to sign an agreement for 1 year, and after that year was up, then it went month to month. I didn't go up there and ask them, well, I want to pay $200 a month. He said, I'm charging X number of dollars. You want to rent this building, that's what you're going to have to pay. And that's the way we're looking at it, is from a landlord's standpoint.
I agree with what James is saying, but on the flip side, you pull in Ducktown right now, they say brush rolling through town.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
got
mean,
tumbleweed blowing through the
And
parking lot.
I'd hate to know that we priced them out of this place, and then we're sitting up there collecting nothing and still maintaining it over. We should have been collecting something, because I truly don't feel, if we drive them into leaving, I don't think nobody's gonna be standing in line for a rental.
Well, I
They
thought
could be, but I
Ducktown,
don't think
though,
so.
said that I thought they were kinda holding the ace card, but they said that they wanted this X amount of dollars.
Well, they do, and that's another thing I don't agree with.
Well, here's
We
the
own
thing.
75% of the debt, they own 25, and I don't see how their 3 votes is 50% of this whole deal, and they got the same. To me, it should be all 9 of us, and them 3, and add the votes together, and that'd be the vote count.
Yeah, that's the way it ought to work.
But I just don't see why 3 of them, with a 25% interest, their 3 votes has the same teeth that our 9 does with 75% of the debt. They just don't, I don't agree with it.
Doesn't matter. You've got
That
a
was
motion.
the agreement
I don't know if you've got a
they
second.
went into, wasn't it?
Well, they wasn't even sure. Oh, last night they come in, just way high. But they never said that even agree with this, but, like I said, I just don't want to push those people out there for 2 reasons. One, for the elderly patients up there that's gonna have to drive to Cleveland. And 2, if we do, I don't think we're gonna rent them buildings. And we'll be maintaining a bunch of buildings with no tenants, and we look back, we might wish we'd have took that $1,400. So I don't know, I can see it both ways.
Here's my stake, and I'm trying to rush this along and get this over with. My stake on it's, if you go 2,000 and I don't think they'll stay, but they might. But if they don't stay, I don't think you're gonna run them out of business, because they will find a place cheaper than 2,000 up there around in Tennessee to operate from, and you won't have anybody standing in line to take over the buildings we just lost. Or we can do 1,400 and they'll stay, or we can do 2,000 and let it fall where it may. We'll be the people renting the property, and we'll either have tenants or we won't. Either way, it ain't gonna change nobody here's gonna change their vote tonight. We know that. We're pretty well preset, so let's vote.
Can I make a suggestion? Lease it to them 1 year at $1,400 and say that next year it goes up $200. Raise it in small increments. That way they're starting out, because they haven't been paying. And the way things are nowadays over there, you might not get any, but you probably won't get them to stay at 2,000. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, I know, they will not.
No.
Is there a motion and second on the floor, Brooks?
There's got a motion, we do not have a second.
Got a motion to approve this lease
2,000,
as
let's do
written,
all maintenance.
but no second.
I second the motion.
Motion by
Dewey, second by
Hughes,
Williams.
second by James. Any more discussion?
They haven't paid any rent for 18 months.
Nope.
Oh, I agree, but the county wouldn't ever get no money to begin with, and here we threw away a bunch of money tonight, and here's one way of getting a little money back to the county that we've never had, and we're gonna lose it. So we're gonna have the buildings, they're gonna get run down. We got a restaurant, the Piggly Wiggly, all that in Ducktown is empty because rent is too high.
But that's just it, them buildings, if they leave, they're not gonna run down, because we're gonna be obligated to maintain them to make them attractive to a possible renter.
Well, not if we don't pass a resolution to pay that guy,
Renters.
because right now he's working for nothing,
Mhm.
and he ain't gonna keep doing that if we
Oh,
don't
we're
pay him.
gonna pay him, this ain't about that.
No,
But,
no.
like you was saying, if they move,
Who's gonna keep mowing? The sheriff gonna keep doing that?
probably, but,
Yeah.
well, you touched on something right. If they move out, and we don't find nobody move in, the buildings can't run down. We'll be paying maintenance on buildings that we're not got no income from, because we gotta keep them up good in case somebody does want to.
Yeah, that's good.
And we'll be paying maintenance with no rent
Well,
money coming
if
in.
we go to 1,400 now, are we gonna be doing the full, are we gonna be doing full maintenance?
That's
No,
the
it
whole
was
difference.
back to us doing the outside and them doing the
Okay.
interior. That's what that was.
Okay, well, I think if everybody's happy with that, God, let's go with it.
Well, we've got a motion
Oh,
second
we got a
before it's
motion
gotta be.
second.
Let's
First
second,
here.
and let's see if we can get a vote on that.
We got roll call on Dewey
2,000.
motion, James second.
On this
All
2,000?
maintenance.
Yeah.
I
It's
thought
on
we
the
was doing on
2,000.
14.
Well, we
No,
got to
we
do
got
this
a motion
motion
second on
first.
2,000, it's gotta be dealt with first.
I'm lost, I'm hungry.
First thing's
Okay, so
2,000,
I'm
then
doing the
we'll do
2,000
the other.
first.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Greg Brooks.
No.
Debbie Davis.
No.
Daniel Deal.
No.
Dewey Estimate.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
No.
John Pippinger.
No.
Samantha Trentham.
No.
James Whitty.
Yes.
2 yes and 6 no.
It fails. Sorry, Brooks, I couldn't help it.
Now, Debbie, you gonna make your motion?
Make a motion, let's try the 14.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Debbie, second by Jeremy. Any more discussion?
That's with understanding that we're doing the outside maintenance.
They do the
We're
inside
doing the
maintenance.
inside.
As I mentioned, that they're 18 months that they haven't paid any. I think it's only fair if you go to $1,400, you ought to ask them to pay their back pay.
So you might as
I
well
think that's
send
ought
them
to be
a,
part of the deal.
might as well
if you
send them
go
a
to
goodbye card
$1,400.
when you do act, because it
We'll
ain't
get
gonna
into
work.
it then. I
Why,
agree with
why
you.
is it their fault? It ain't their fault that they didn't pay, nobody.
They could have paid rent all along,
To who?
regardless.
They used to.
This guy that wants $600 a week from.
You guys got a motion second, Mr. Chairman, if you would. I'm requesting a call to the previous question. I'd like to have roll call.
Roll call. We're getting time short.
Greg
Yes, we are.
Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimate.
No.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham.
Yes.
James Whitty.
No.
6 yes, 2 no.
Actually, right there, 1 or 2 hours. We started at 7:12.
Real quick, Mr. Chairman, we have something on the agenda. It was budget amendments. We have a amendment.
Yeah, we gotta get his
with the paycheck. With permission of the chair, I'd like to bring up the budget amendment back under the agenda for budget amendment number 36.
It's budget amendment number 36, it's to pay the past due to Dwayne, the maintenance man above the mountain.
Budget amendment is proposed, purpose of amendment is to allocate funds to avoid overages in current line. The proposed source of funds is $101,39,000 and designated fund balance at $8,000. Proposed expenditure of funds is $101,800,166, and the amount of $8,000 has been requested by County Commission. And that is to put the funds into pay somebody that has not been paid last how many paychecks?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Is Catrice still here?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it is 51,800, not 57, correct? 51,800, yes, sir, the lines are as written. That is the budget amount. I do make a motion that we approve number 36.
I second it.
Motion by John, second by Dewey, any discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Douglas.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimate.
Yes.
Jeremy Kendrick.
Yes.
John Kinsey.
Yes.
Samantha Trent. Yes. James Woods.
Yes.
Didn't get paid. Sorry.
And that's all the time for the meeting, real quick.
If you're not going to get to us, would you refer that flood study to me, please?
The Buildings and Grounds Committee can't do it.
Okay, that's satisfactory. Rather appreciate it.
Okay. We'll do that. Yeah, and just real quick, announcement statements. Mr. Bowers from Cleveland Manor, he just been awarded for 60 years of service from Siegenthaler. We'd like to recognize you for that accomplishment. That's a long time in the paper business. I'm sure I'm not familiar with it, but I'm sure that's quite an honor. So very few get it, so let's recognize you for that. Jeff, we'll get back to you, 58 years on that. Hang loose.